Welcome back to Joliet, Illinois and Route 66 Stadium, home of the University of St. Francis Fighting Saints, who are getting set for Game 2 of a doubleheader against Trinity International University. The Saints captured the opener by a 6-1 final, now looking for a doubleheader sweep. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for the visiting Trojans, it's Matt Latimer leading off in center field. Lance Lukheim is at shortstop. The number 3 hitter is first baseman Matt Pearson. Emmanuel Andujar moves to right and bats fourth. Blake Lazarus is the designated hitter. Angel Santana hits sixth at second base. Kobe Chapman is at third base. Mike Luker does the catching, and batting ninth, left fielder Julius Torres. Doing the pitching for the Fighting Saints is freshman Mac Malshevsky, starting today for the 7th time this year. He's 3-1 with a 5.02 ERA, and he's ready to go. First pitch of the ball game is swung on and bounced foul to the left side. Strike one on Matt Latimer. We're underway at 7:17 p.m. Central Daylight Time. 0-1 on Latimer, who went 1 for 4 with a 7th inning single, I should say, in the opener. Game 1 only went 7 innings. He was the second to last batter of the game. Fouled away. That's strike 2. Malshevsky this season has pitched 28 2/3 innings. He's allowed 20 runs, 16 of them earned on 32 hits, with 15 strikeouts to 19 walks. Opponents are batting .278 against the Frosh this year. He misses outside for a ball, 1-2. Talked about it during Game 1. Tyler Domi was the starter in that game. He was magnificent. Domi got a rare start. In fact, it was his first start of the year after 9 relief appearances. There's a ball low and away. The count is 2-2. Domi started primarily because this is a busy week for the Fighting Saints. They needed an extra starter thrown in there. And now Malshevsky gets the call in Game 2. There's a pop-up hit by Latimer, left field. Vinny Schroeder steps in. Schroeder makes the catch, and there's out number 1. Typically the Saints go with John Reardon, Michael Quirum, and Angel Sandoval. But they need a little extra help this week. Evan Doan and Mac Malshevsky have gone back and forth as their number 4 starter. Typically, of late, it's been Malshevsky. Here's Lukheim getting his first at-bat of the day. He swings and misses for strike 1. The shortstop here in game number 2, Lance Lukheim, a junior from Scottsdale, Arizona. Did not get the game 1 start. He's a .309 hitter for the season. He takes a ball upstairs from Malshevsky, 1-1 the count. Lukheim's got 12 RBIs, 4 extra base hits on the season. They've all been doubles. Batting with 1 out and nobody on base. He takes a ball, 2-1. Matt Pearson is on deck. Pearson playing at first base here in game 2. A lot of defensive shuffling for the Trojans here in the second game. There's a swing and a pop-up foul to the left side into the seats. That's a 2-2 count. In fact, a lot of offensive shuffling too, now that I think of it. Lukheim did not play in game 1. Kobe Chapman, Matt Luker, Julius Torres. 4 out of the 9 starters were not in the game 1 lineup. Ball upstairs and inside on Lukheim as well. In fact, it floated over his head as he ducked out of the way. Count goes full, 3-2, 1 out, nobody on base. Trinity looking for their first base runner, trying to get on the board first in this game. They trailed all the way through game 1. Lukheim takes ball 4. Walk issued by Malshevsky to give the Trojans their first base runner. Control problems persisted throughout game 1 for St. Francis. The Trojans ended that one with only 4 hits. All of them were singles, and so most of the control issues were mitigated by the lack of any serious offense for Trinity. But there were a couple of walks, couple of hit batters in that first game. 4 free base runners in only 7 innings. There's ball 1 high on Matt Pearson. Malshevsky's been wild to start today's game. He's thrown 7 balls. He's thrown only 5 strikes among his first 12 pitches. No harm done yet, though. Just a runner at first with 1 out. 1-0 on Pearson, and he takes a ball upstairs. It's not an offense and certainly not a middle of the order. You want to help out, though, with too many free base runners. This is a team that can really club the ball. Emmanuel Andujar is a big example of that, a .388 hitter on the season. He's ahead in the count, 3-0. This .388 hitter went 1 for 3 with an RBI single in game 1. The only RBI hit of the game. It came in the 6th inning. 3 balls, no strikes, and a pickoff attempt to first base. Lukheim dives back to the bag. It's a somewhat chilly evening here in Joliet. The sun was shining brightly earlier in the day. Ball inside, and Pearson draws the one-out walk. Lukheim up to second base. That's 5 straight misses from Malshevsky. Been a while since he's hit the strike zone. He has been all over the place to begin the ball game. 10 balls, only 5 strikes. It was a sunny day, a little bit cooler than the average late April day, but not bad, around 60 degrees. There's a called strike over the inside corner to Emmanuel Andujar, 0-1. Temperatures have dipped a little bit, upper 50s still. Ground ball to second base. This could be 2. Peterson flips to second for 1. The relay throw ends the inning, 4-6-3. Malshevsky wild in the first inning, but he snaps out of it at just the right moment to get out of a scoreless first. We'll head to the bottom of the frame. Saints come to bat when we return in a scoreless tie. Bottom of the first inning, scoreless tie. St. Francis is about to get their first chance at bat. Travis Schoonover, the right fielder, leads things off. He'll be followed by the shortstop, Dustin Krob. Joe McGuire, the DH, bats third. Anthony Farron is at first base. Josh Tesh bats fifth and plays third. Vinny Schroeder's in left field. Johnny Peterson at second, batting seventh. Dolan Nicholson is the center fielder, and batting ninth, the catcher, Adam Sobolka. Same lineup St. Francis used in game 1. Worked out pretty well, 6 runs in 6 innings. And now they start out that way in game 2 as ball 1, actually at bat number 1 is already over. Travis Schoonover is hit by the pitch. Thought that ball missed inside. Didn't realize just how far inside it missed. It hit him in the leg. Schoonover is aboard. On the first pitch in game 1, Schoonover tripled. On the first pitch here in game 2, he's on base by getting hit with the toss from Sam Willis. Willis is starting for the 8th time this year. I'll give you his numbers in just a moment. First, we'll see his first offering to Dustin Krob. It misses outside, ball 1. In fact, it missed in just about the same spot that he missed to Schoonover. It was inside on the left-handed hitter, though. It hit him outside on the right-handed hitting Krob. 1-0. Righty versus righty. Here's the pitch. Upstairs, 2-0. Neither pitcher has started with their best control today. Malshevsky worked out of it in the first inning. He got a double play after back-to-back walks. We'll see if Willis can do the same for Trinity International. His 2-0 offering hits the outside corner. It's 2-1. 1-3 this year. That's Willis's record. Actually, it's 1-4. He's got an 8.24 ERA. 7 starts, 2 relief appearances. He's gone 39 1/3 innings, allowing 40 runs, 36 of them earned, and 55 hits. 20 strikeouts, 29 walks. Opponents hitting .331 against him this year. And there's a high pop-up from Krob, left side, into the outfield. Julius Torres lines it up and makes the catch. Schoonover returns to first base with 1 out. Here's Joe McGuire. Willis this season has had some big control problems. You already heard one number, 29 walks and 39 1/3 innings coming in. That's a huge number. 15 hit batters, up it to 16 after he got Schoonover. So 16 hit batters plus 29 walks means 45 free base runners in only 40 innings this season. So essentially he's walking more than a man per inning. Joe McGuire takes strike 1 over the inside corner. On top of all of that, he's thrown 12 wild pitches. So Willis needs to get the ball in the strike zone today. The same can be said of any pitcher in any game. But for Willis, it's been a big hurdle. Swing and a miss, strike 2. He's got McGuire where he wants him. No balls and 2 strikes. Joe McGuire had a very effective game 1. He reached base 3 times and scored 2 runs. Went 2 for 4 with a pair of singles in the contest. Batting with a runner at first base and 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. The 0-2 pitch is swung on and flown into center field. Matt Latimer takes a step back and makes the grab. A routine fly to Latimer. And Willis is 1 out away from ending the inning. Willis hit the first batter of the game on the first pitch. Fell behind Krob. But he's bounced back. He got McGuire to fly out, and in some ways so far this bottom of the first inning has mirrored the top half of the first. Some control problems early and then perhaps settling in, throwing strikes and getting outs. Anthony Farron takes a ball up and in, 1-0. Snap throw down to first base doesn't do much. Schoonover took a big secondary lead there. So Mike Luker tried to catch him being a little overly aggressive, but Schoonover got back to first base in plenty of time. 1 on, 2 out, 1-0 on Farron. Pickoff throw this time from the pitcher. And again, Schoonover gets back to the bag easily. Travis Schoonover this season has 7 stolen bases in 8 attempts. So he is a threat to run, but you don't usually take the risk with Anthony Farron in the batter's box. Farron, a .424 hitter entering play today. He takes a big cut and fouls it back for strike 1 to even the count. Farron's average will go up a few points after an effective game 1 in which he went 2 for 3. He doubled twice, walked once, and drove in a run. Just another day at the office for Anthony Farron, who's now got 16 doubles this season. 33 RBIs, his on-base percentage right around .500. Wild pickoff attempt to first. Schoonover heads to second base as the ball ricochets back into right field. Another error on Trinity International. In the last couple of innings, going back to 6th inning of game 1, we've seen 3 errant pickoff attempts from Trinity. And if you ask me, which nobody did, too much attention being paid to the base runners for a team that just hasn't had a whole lot of success throwing the ball. They've given too many bases to St. Francis. The ball's flown out to right field. Foul territory. It'll stay in play. Emmanuel Andujar is able to get there to make the grab. The inning is over. Leadoff batter hit by a pitch, but no runs come of it. Schoonover stranded at second base. We'll head to the second. No score. One inning down, 8 to go here this evening in game 2 of a doubleheader. Not much action so far. Neither team had a hit in the first inning. Blake Lazarus leads off the second by taking ball 1 inside. Lazarus went 1 for 2 and was hit by a pitch in game 1. On base in 2 of his 3 plate appearances. He takes the ball low, 2-0. I said not much action, no hits in the first inning, but we did see plenty of base runners. Mac Malshevsky walked 2, and then Travis Schoonover was hit by a pitch from Sam Willis in the bottom of the inning. So 3 total men reached as Lazarus flies it into right field. Schoonover backs up and makes the catch. 1 away here in the second inning. 3 out of 5 batters have been retired by Malshevsky. 1 of them grounded into a double play. Again, he hasn't been hit hard yet. If he's throwing strikes, seems to be in pretty good shape at the moment. Malshevsky will face Santana. Second baseman, Angel Santana, moves up to number 6 in the batting order and takes strike 1. He was the number 9 hitter in game 1, but again, Trinity shuffled up their lineup quite a bit. Jack Jordan made changes at 7 out of 9 positions. There's a foul ball off to the left side, not a play. In the lineup 1 through 9, 5 players are different in game 2. Julius Torres, Mike Luker, Kobe Chapman, Lance Lukheim. Well, I guess only 4 out of 9. 4 out of 9 players have changed over from game 1. Ball up and away, 1-2. Defensively, the only 2 players in the same positions are Matt Latimer in center field and Angel Santana at second base. Everybody else has moved to a different position or been taken out entirely. Fouled off to the left side, still 1-2. Strikingly different strategies from the 2 managers, as the Saints have elected to go with an identical lineup to the one they used in game 1, even though it's not even their typical lineup. A couple outfielders are different from normal. Ball downstairs, 2-2. Dolan Nicholson getting 2 starts today in place of Bailey Schultz in center, although those 2 guys split time relatively evenly. Schultz a little bit more than Nicholson. Flipped into left field. That ball is sinking in for a base hit. First hit of the ball game. A little bloop job for Angel Santana into left field. A 1-out base runner for Trinity. It brings up Kobe Chapman. Kobe with a K, K-O-B-Y. Kobe with a K and a Y, I should say. It's usually either spelled with a C at the front or an E in the back. The spelling a little bit different. Chapman getting his first at bat of the day. Playing at third base here in game 2. Runner at first, 1 out. First pitch is grounded to the first base and backhanded stop by Farron. Throws to second for 1. The relay throw is in time. Another inning-ending double play. And a nice snag there by Anthony Farron, who fields his position well. A 3-6-1 twin killing to end the frame. We go to the bottom of the second. Scoreless in Joliet. Josh Tesh, the number 5 batter, leads off the bottom of the second for the University of St. Francis. They are tied with Trinity International University, 0-0. Tesh, Schroeder, and Peterson due up against Sam Willis, who misses outside for ball 1 as we open up this second inning. There was a hit by a pitch and an error in the bottom of the first inning. Saints got a runner to second base, but stranded him there. Josh Tesh fouls it back off the screen, 1-1. Tesh had an effective game 1 at the plate. He went 1 for 3 with an RBI single. He also walked once, so he reached base in 2 of his 4 plate appearances. Drove in his 15th run of the season. Getting to bat with nobody on base here. Willis's next pitch. Lined up the middle, off the pitching rubber, and straight out to center field. Solidly struck ball by Tesh. He stays hot as he picks up another hit. 1 for 1 in this ball game. Leadoff man reaches for St. Francis, and now each side has a hit. Here's Vinny Schroeder. Mentioned last inning that Brian Mahalik made a few changes to his regular lineup. Dolan Nicholson was the smaller of the changes. Vinny Schroeder the bigger one. He had started only 3 games all year coming into play today. Now he's starting 2 games today as he takes a ball high, 1-0. He has been effective in the limited action he's seen this year. 5 of 15 with a couple of extra base hits and a couple of RBIs at the plate coming into this one. He went hitless in game 1, but he did drop down a sacrifice bunt. Went 0 for 3 officially in the game. Pickoff throw to first base to check on Josh Tesh. Tesh 2 for 2 on steals this year. Throw to first base, and Tesh dives back in safely. Trinity continues to pay very close attention whenever St. Francis gets a base runner. Mentioned before, they've had 3 different throwing errors on pickoff attempts during today's doubleheader. Ball high on Schroeder, 2-0. Sam Willis has had big control problems throughout the year. He hit the first batter on the first pitch he threw today. Since then, he's been pretty sharp with his command. But 2-0 now on Schroeder, who swings and pops it up out of play behind home plate. Count is 2-1. St. Francis, with their win in game 1, improved to 18-3 in their home ballpark this year. It's notable for a couple of reasons. One is because it's just obviously very impressive, and it's helped keep them in the race for the CCAC championship as Schroeder chases one up high for strike 3. He goes down swinging. And there's the first out of the inning. Tesh at first base after a leadoff single. 1 out. Here's John Peterson. Peterson, the second baseman, batting .246 at the start of today's game. Swings the first pitch and fouls it away. He went 1 for 2. He was hit by a pitch and scored a run in the opener. St. Francis entered today 3 games out of first place in the CCAC, behind St. Xavier, against whom they went 2-1 this year. They've given St. Xavier half of their conference losses. Ball inside, nearly hit him, and it won't count anyway. Looks like a balk was called. Josh Tesh gets to move up to second base. For the second time, Saints have a runner in scoring position. The count remains 0-1 on John Peterson. Peterson's got an RBI chance now. Ball outside, 1-1. First place in the conference for St. Francis is not likely at this point. There's only 5 games remaining on the schedule. So to erase a 3-game deficit, that would be tough. So that ball is flown by Peterson out to straightaway center field, and now coming over a little bit towards the left center field area. Matt Latimer comes on to make the catch, holds Tesh at second base. 2 outs in the inning. And the batter is Dolan Nicholson. No score in the bottom of the second. Runner at second base. Nicholson still could give St. Francis a second inning lead here with a base hit. Dolan Nicholson in game 1 put the bat on the ball in his first at-bat and doubled down the left field line. He went 1 for 3 with a run scored in the game. Pitch to Nicholson is stroked foul to the left side. Strike one. Right now, more than anything, St. Francis is playing for second place in the conference. Entering play today, they were a half game up on Olivet Nazarene and Trinity Christian. They will play Trinity Christian, that is, not International. They'll play Trinity Christian 3 times this weekend. Once here on Friday and twice there on Saturday. Ball low and in. The count is 1-1. They're done with Olivet Nazarene. Went 1-2 against the Tigers this year. But another reason that it's been so big that St. Francis has played so well at home is because this is where the conference tournament will be starting next week. Ball outside, 2-1. So they've got that built-in advantage that they get to play their conference tournament games in a ballpark in which they've played to an 18-3 record this year. Trying to make it 19-3 with a win here tonight, but there's no score in the second inning. Ground ball up the middle, under the glove of Willis and out to center field. Around third base, Josh Tesh trying to score, and he does. The throw gets away from the cutoff man, trying for second now. Nicholson is thrown out. And the inning comes to a close. Nicholson thrown out trying to get to second on a would-be errant pickoff, or errant relay throw, I should say, but it is an RBI single. The run scored well before the out was recorded, and so it counts on the board. 1-0 St. Francis leads as we go to the third inning. St. Francis trying to pull off a doubleheader sweep. They take an early lead again. Top of the third inning, 1-0 St. Francis leads. Mike Luker, the catcher, takes ball one low and away. And we're underway. Mac Malshevsky doing the pitching for St. Francis on the mound with the lead for the first time. Malshevsky's 1-0 to Luker is hit on the ground sharply, but right at the shortstop. Krob fields it and throws to first in time. One away. Malshevsky has retired the leadoff man in each of the first 3 innings. Trinity International got a base runner in the first and again in the second. They got 2 base runners, in fact, in the first. 1 in the second. Both times they were thwarted by a double play. St. Francis got on the board in the bottom of the second inning on a 2-out RBI single from Dolan Nicholson called strike on Julius Torres. Nicholson was thrown out at second base. The throw came in from center fielder Matt Latimer. Missed the cutoff man. Nicholson tried for second base, but Trinity was ready for him as Torres takes a strike. 0-2. Threw back to second. Nicholson was tagged out. The inning ended just after the Saints had scored their run. Ball outside, 1-2. Julius Torres is the left fielder for Trinity, getting his first at bat. .236 average, 6 RBIs this year. Often a pinch runner for the Trojans. He takes a ball outside. It's 2-2. You can always tell when a guy's got more runs scored than games started. His primary role is as a pinch runner. He's played in 43 games, but only started 13. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Actually foul tipped that ball into the catcher's glove. Either way, it's a strikeout for Malshevsky, his first of the ball game. And for the first time today, he has set down the first two batters of the inning in a row. He'll try to make it 3 straight against Latimer and make it an easy third inning. Latimer is 0 for 1. He flew to left field to begin the ball game. Latimer takes ball 1. St. Francis has not trailed in today's doubleheader. They scored in the first inning of game 1 and carried that all the way to a 6-1 victory. Swing and a miss from Latimer, 1-1. In game 2, they waited an inning, but in the second, they were able to get on the board. So that means there's only been 1 inning in the entire doubleheader so far in which they have not held the lead. And that was in the first inning in game 2. Strike called on Latimer. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. Malshevsky looking for his best inning yet. 1 strike away from putting aside the Trojans in the third. Outside, 2-2. He has not tended to put guys away quickly, Malshevsky. He's been getting ahead of hitters these last few innings, but they've kept the at-bats alive. 2-2, just misses the outside corner for ball 3. The count is full. Latimer trying to keep it going for Lance Lukheim, who's on deck. Malshevsky, the lanky right-hander, steps off the rubber. Mac Malshevsky is a freshman from Mount Prospect, Illinois, 6 feet 4 inches tall. He deals, Latimer knocks it up the middle, a base hit. Second hit of the contest for Trinity. He joins Angel Santana, who singled in the second inning, and Malshevsky will keep on searching for a perfect frame for the first time today, but as it is, looking for his third straight 0 on the scoreboard. He can get it if he retires Lance Lukheim. Lukheim, who did not start game 1, walked in his first at-bat here in game 2, and now he bats with a man on. First pitch is a ball. The throw down to first base is not in time. It's a strike, rather. Late strike call. It's 0-1. Pickoff attempt from Adam Sobolka was a little bit late. Latimer safe at first. The 0-1 pitch. Runner goes, pitches in the dirt, and Latimer picked a good one to run on. He steals second base without a throw. The count is 1-1 on Lukheim, and now a man in scoring position for Trinity. Matt Latimer steals his 10th base of the season. Tying run in scoring position in the top of the third inning. Swing and a miss, a big cut from Lukheim. The count is 1-2. Malshevsky was able to get ahead of Latimer 1-2 as well, trying to end the inning. Was not able to put him away. We'll see if he can against Lukheim. Bouncing ball up the middle, over the reaching glove of Malshevsky, fielded on the backside by Krob, and Krob is able to throw out Lukheim at first base. Good play by the shortstop to end the inning, 6-3, and the Trojans do not score in the third. They leave a man at second base. We'll head to the bottom of the frame, 1-0 St. Francis. Bottom of the third inning, 1-0 St. Francis. They scored one with 2 outs in the second. And now they'll try to extend the lead in the third, 9-1-2. Cebulka, Schoonover, Krob due to hit against the right-hander Sam Willis. Willis has not been bad so far. He hits the outside corner for strike one on Cebulka. Allowed 2 singles in the second inning. He hit a batter in the first, but so far his big walk problems have not hurt him too much. Ball outside, 1-1. Have not flared up today so far. Not since the first pitch of the game when he hit Schoonover. Leadoff man has reached, though, in each of the first 2 innings for St. Francis, meaning that Willis, who's pitching out of the windup right now, has not had the opportunity to do that very much. He's been out of the stretch almost entirely. Ball 2 on Cebulka, 2-1. Adam Cebulka is a 195 hitter for the season, but he had a good game 1. Reached base twice and drove in a run. Ball low and away. It's 3-1. Singled and scored in his last at bat in game 1. Went 1 for 2 in the ball game. Sacrifice fly, and the only time really he had a damaging out, a strikeout, he reached base anyway on a wild pitch, and now he's hit by a pitch in the back. Would have been ball 4 anyway. Second batter that Sam Willis has hit today, and it's the second time it's been the leadoff man. So the Saints have the leadoff runner on for the 3rd straight inning. Cebulka will depart. Noah Carraro will come on. Courtesy runner. Carraro usually runs for Cebulka, and no exception here. Talk about guys who have more runs scored than games started. You can tell their role on the team is usually as a pinch runner. Well, Carraro has only started 5 games this year, but he has scored 24 runs. Travis Schoonover takes a strike over the inside corner. Schoonover was hit by a pitch his first time up. Batting for the second time now. The 0-1 popped up, foul to the left side and out of play. Count is 0-2. Travis Schoonover has been swinging the bat well of late. Went through a bit of a slump a few weeks back, early April, after a very strong March. The entire team had a strong March. He was a big part of it. He pops this ball up on the infield left side. Coming in to make the catch is the third baseman, Kobe Chapman. And there's out number 1. Carraro remains at first base, and Dustin Krob will come to the plate next. In the month of March, St. Francis played almost exclusively at home. From March 13th to March 31st, they didn't have a road game. They won all but 1 of those games. 13-1 in home games between March 13th and March 31st. Krob swings the first pitch, flies it out to right center field. That's a long run for Andujar, but he gets there. Andujar makes the catch on the move out to right center. He retires Krob for out number 2. Cebulka forced to retreat to first base. 2 quick outs following the hit batter, and here's Joe McGuire. This inning has looked very similar to the first when the leadoff batter was hit by a pitch, and the next 2 were retired in short order, leaving that base runner over at first. Schoonover in the first inning eventually made it to second, but was left there. McGuire is 0 for 1 with a fly out. He bats with Carraro at first base and 2 down. And he takes strike 1 over the outer third of the plate. Anthony Farron's on deck. Joe McGuire would love to bring him up this inning. In fact, he'd love to get this run in before Farron even gets a chance for the RBI. Here's the 0-1. Launched out to right field. Andujar, another long run back, but again he gets there and makes the play. Out in right center field. Andujar covered a lot of ground that inning. Back-to-back flyouts to right center. Andujar chases them both down. And the Saints, despite the leadoff hit batter, don't score. They leave Carraro at first. We go to the 4th. 1-0 St. Francis. After 3 innings, it's 1-0 St. Francis. A good pitcher's duel so far as Matt Pearson leads off for Trinity and takes ball 1 low and away from Matt Malshevsky. Pearson, Andujar, Lazarus due to hit this inning. Pearson walked in the first. No official at bat yet for him. He was shut down for the most part in game 1 as he takes a strike over the inside corner. Singled in his first at bat in game 1 and then went hitless from there on out. This is one of the tougher hitters to retire in the conference. He has been mostly neutralized today. He takes the ball. It's 2-1. 4.07 average coming into play today. He has started every game this year for the Trojans. He rips this ball to left, and Josh Tesh is able to knock it down. He throws over to first, and a great pick by Anthony Farron to retire Pearson. Good team effort there from the corner infielders. 5-3. Pearson is retired. As I said, he's one of the top hitters in the conference. He's been neutralized today, and that's a part of the reason why. Good defense by St. Francis. That ball was smashed in the direction of Tesh. As Emmanuel Andujar stands in and takes strike 1. Tesh was able to lunge to his left, knock the ball down. It was a low line drive, so he really had to fall on top of it. Ball ended up trickling behind him. He had to get up, scramble for it. Made a hurried throw over to first base, even though Pearson was only about halfway down the line because the ball was hit so hard. The count moves to 0-2 on Andujar. Malshevsky looking to put him away. Bounces in, 1-2. The throw bounced, I'd say, a good 3 feet in front of Anthony Farron over at first base, and Farron made a fantastic pick. He does that extremely well. Pearson was retired 5-3. Andujar pops it up foul to the left side and out of play. 8 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone. We're just about 43 minutes into today's contest. And the sun has set in Joliet. Ball outside. Count is 2-2. Still a few residual sunbeams out. You can see the sun still setting just out beyond left field. But for the most part, it is the artificial lights doing the work here, keeping everything visible at Route 66 Stadium. Ball 3 inside on Andujar. Full count. 1 out, nobody on base. Malshevsky was ahead of Andujar 0-2 as that ball is hit on the ground between the first baseman and second baseman into right field. A hit for Andujar. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game now with a 1-out single here in the top of the 4th inning. And that brings up Blake Lazarus. Lazarus, the third baseman in game 1, DHing this time around, 0 for 1 with a fly out to right field. Trinity has had no shortage of base runners in the game, but they haven't been able to move them around all that well. Popped up foul to the right side and out of play. Malshevsky, always a good ground ball pitcher. Today has been no exception. And he's gotten 2 double plays in the first 3 innings. Looking to make it 3 out of 4 right here. Throw over to first base. Andujar dives back to the bag. Another throw from Malshevsky to first. Nearly got away from Farron, but it stayed in front of him. I think that ball was knocked back by Andujar. I think it hit off of him, and that's the reason it didn't get away. 0-1 on Lazarus. Fouled back off the net. Count is 0-2. Blake Lazarus, 367 hitter coming into play today. Has not been available to Trinity the entire season, but he has started 35 of their 48 games, today included. Not a big power hitter. Despite a 367 average, he's only slugging 404, but still 367 is 367. Now the 0-2, hit in the air. Shallow left center field. Coming in, Nicholson puts it away. 2 down. Andujar still at first base. And it's the number 6 batter, Angel Santana. Santana's got one of the 3 hits today for Trinity. They've all been singles. He's 1 for 1. Trojans have had 5 base runners through 3 2/3 innings. But never have they gotten a man as far as third base, and obviously they haven't scored yet. 1-0 the count on Santana as the first pitch from Malshevsky misses outside. Tall right-hander out of the stretch. Throws to first. Andujar's got 3 stolen bases on the season. Trinity's got 1 stolen base in the game. Latimer swiped second last inning. Malshevsky's next pitch hits the outside corner. It's 1-1. 1-0. St. Francis leads in the top of the 4th. They got a 2-out RBI single from Dolan Nicholson in the bottom of the 2nd inning, and that's held up so far. Runner goes, swung on, grounded to second base. Peterson grabs it, throws to first. The inning is over. A 1-out single for Trinity leads to nothing more than a runner stranded at first base. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 1-0 Saints. Anthony Farron leads off the bottom of the 4th inning for the Fighting Saints, on top of Trinity International right now, 1-0. Saints took the opener 6-1. Thanks in large part to Farron, who doubled twice and walked once in that game. He's 0 for 1 in this one with a flyout, and he's behind 0-1 in the count in this at-bat after that foul ball. Farron, Tesh, and Schroeder due to hit against Sam Willis, who's been very impressive through 3 innings, I should say, just starting the 4th. He misses inside for a 1-1 count. Willis has allowed 2 hits, both of them singles. He's also hit 2 batters. 2 singles came in the same inning. 2 hit batters, both came to lead off an inning. But he never ran into trouble with either one of them. Farron takes a strike. It's 1-2. Leadoff man has reached in each inning so far. We'll see if Farron can make it 4 in a row. He takes a ball upstairs, 2-2. I mentioned during game 1, in fact, I mentioned it a couple of times during game 1, Trinity has got a very strong offense this year as Farron hits it on a line to third base, gloved on the short hop by Kobe Chapman. Throw to first is picked out of the dirt by Matt Pearson. Good play. Farron is retired. That play, in fact, not very dissimilar to the one we saw that retired Matt Pearson in the top half of this inning. A good stop by the third baseman, a strong pick by the first baseman. Farron retired. Leadoff man set down for the first time in the game. First time since the 5th inning of game 1. 4 consecutive leadoff batters had reached for St. Francis. Now it's Josh Tesh with 1 out, nobody on. Tesh is hit by the first pitch. That's the third batter that Willis has hit today. It is the 18th man hit by a Willis pitch this year, which is just an astonishing number in 43 innings. Tesh reaches for the second time today. He singled and scored in the second, and now he reaches with one out in the fourth. The batter is Vinny Schroeder. Schroeder struck out swinging in the second, the only strikeout so far today for Willis. He swings at the first pitch this time and lifts it into shallow left. Coming in is Torres. Torres makes the catch. 2 outs. Tesh back to first base, and it's up to John Peterson. 1-0 St. Francis in the bottom of the fourth. It really has been impressive so far. In 11 innings of offense for Trinity International, they've been held to only 1 run by a young St. Francis pitching staff who has used Tyler Domi, Hunter Morawski in game 1, and now Mac Malshevsky in game 2. Bunted by Peterson, back to the mound, picked up by Willis, who throws to first. Inning over. Peterson trying to bunt his way aboard. Unsuccessful in this attempt. And we are done in the fourth inning. Tesh hit by a pitch, but stranded at first. We go to the fifth, 1-0 St. Francis. Kobe Chapman leads off the top of the fifth inning for Trinity International. Takes ball 1 from Mac Malshevsky. Malshevsky, through 4 innings, has allowed 3 hits, 2 walks, but no runs. His next pitch finds the outer edge of the plate. 1-1 on Chapman. Chapman grounded into a 3-6-1 double play his first time up. No chance of that happening this time around. He takes over the inside corner this time. It's 1-2. Malshevsky got off to a little bit of a shaky start. He walked 2 batters in the first inning. Settled in since then. Still doesn't have a 1-2-3 inning, but hasn't allowed more than 1 base runner in any of the last 3. 2-2 on Chapman. Kobe Chapman getting his second at bat of the day. It's just his 5th start of the season. He's 2 for 15 at the plate so far this season. Check swing. Ball missed inside. They'll appeal down to first base, and he didn't swing. Count is 3-2. Trinity's trying to put their leadoff batter on base for the first time this game, but they don't. Chapman waves and misses for strike 3. Second strikeout of the ball game from Mac Malshevsky. 1 away in the 5th. It's been a really well-pitched game, but there have only been 2 total strikeouts. That's number 3 now. 2 for Malshevsky, 1 strikeout so far for Sam Willis, Trinity's pitcher. Here's Luker taking ball 1 inside, and it grazed his hand, so he'll head down to first base. He is hit by Malshevsky's pitch. Couldn't tell from up here that it hit him, although I thought I heard it. Thought I heard two sounds, and that's exactly the case. Mike Luker had that ball just barely nip his hand before it hit the catcher's glove. Even though the ball didn't seem to move very much, the trajectory did not change after it hit the hand of Luker. And that's why it went into the glove of Cebulka cleanly. Courtesy run over at first base, I think it's Brendan Lacey. Be the same guy who we saw as a pinch runner back in game 1. So Lacey is aboard, 1 out, 1-run game in the top of the 5th inning. Julius Torres is the batter. First pitch to Torres is swung on and missed for strike 1. Trinity's offense, like I've been saying, tough to keep down. They score better than 5.5 runs per game on the year, and yet they've been held to just 1 run in 11 innings so far today. Malshevsky trying to make it 1-12 by holding them back here in the 5th. There's a called strike over the outside corner. 0-2 on Torres, who struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. Lacey at first base with 1 down. Malshevsky looking for a big second out. Pickoff throw over to first. Not in time. 8 of the 13 outs recorded today by Malshevsky have been on ground balls. He's already gotten 2 double plays, perhaps a 3rd here. He misses in the dirt. 1-2. Trinity's offense may not have performed up to usual standards so far today, but they've pitched pretty well. 7 runs allowed so far in 10 innings. Not a great number, but better than their season average. Ball 2, count is even. Remember, their team ERA is over 9. They gave up 6 runs in game 1, but have held the Saints to just 1 run in 4 innings here in game 2. Runner goes, pitch is swung on and missed. The throw down to first base. They've got Lacey caught in a rundown. They tag him out and the inning is over. So it's an unconventional double play. Strike him out, throw him out. Torres foul tipped it into the glove of Adam Cebulka. Lacey was on the move, but he tripped after about 2 steps and was completely caught in no man's land between first and second. So they're able to catch him and end the inning. We will head to the bottom of the 5th. 1-0, St. Francis has the lead. Dolan Nicholson leads off the bottom of the 5th inning for St. Francis. 1-0 the Saints lead. Took that lead in the bottom of the 2nd inning on Dolan Nicholson's RBI base hit. Since then, the pitchers have taken over. It's been kind of an unconventional pitcher's duel, but a pitcher's duel nonetheless as Nicholson bunts it down the 3rd base line. Nice job by Mike Luker, the catcher, pouncing on that ball before it can go foul. Luker throws to first and retires Nicholson. 1 pitch, 1 out in the 5th inning. The last 4 batters for St. Francis have all seen only 1 pitch. 3 of them have now been retired, 2 of them on bunts. Brian Mahalik, I think, is going to argue that that ball should have been called foul. Luker popped out of his crouch immediately. It was bunted down the 3rd base line. It looked like it was going to go foul, but Luker was able to grab it just before it could cross over the line and get the quick out. So one away in the bottom of the 5th inning. Adam Cebulka will be the next hitter. As I said, it's been an unconventional pitcher's duel because neither pitcher has dominated. We have not seen a single 1-2-3 inning in this game. So there's been at least one base runner in all now 9 half innings that we've played today. There have only been a total of 4 strikeouts between the two pitchers. Now 3 of them for Mac Malshevsky after he fanned 2 in the top of the 5th. Just 1 K for Sam Willis so far. Here's Adam Cebulka. Cebulka takes strike 1. And neither pitcher has had exceptional control. Malshevsky walks 2 batters, although both of them were in the 1st inning, none since. But 2 walks and 1 hit batter for Malshevsky. Willis hasn't walked anybody, but he's plunked 3 batters as Cebulka grounds it to the shortstop. Scooped up by Lukeem. The throw to first base is in time to get him. The throw was high. It pulled Matt Pearson off the bag, but he apparently was able to come back down on first base and touch it with the toe tips just before the throw came in, or I should say before the runner came in. And so Cebulka is retired. It's another quick out. Cebulka's at bat at least went 2 pitches, but now the last 5 batters for St. Francis have seen a total of 6 pitches. Here's Travis Schoonover taking ball 1 low and in. Schoonover is 0 for 1. He's popped out to third, and he's been hit by a pitch. One of 3 batters to be so hit today. Next one breaks inside off the plate. Count is 2-0. Willis is potentially 1 good pitch away from the first 1-2-3 inning of the game. 1 out away, certainly. Dustin Kroeb waits on deck, banking on it not being the first perfect frame. 2-0. Swung on and poked out to left field. That drops in for a base hit. Travis Schoonover does indeed get on base and snap the chance for a perfect frame. 3rd hit of the ball game for St. Francis. It's their first hit since the 2nd inning. 2-out base runner in front of Dustin Kroeb. A cool day has turned into a downright chilly night. A lot of heavier coats and blankets have popped out among the fans in attendance here. A later than usual doubleheader. Typically this would be a day game, but today's twin bill started at 5 o'clock. Strike 1 over the inside corner on Dustin Kroeb, who's 0 for 2 with a couple of flyouts. Field was in use all afternoon, so this one was not able to begin until 5. Runner goes, pitch is inside and off the glove of Mike Luker. Schoonover not only takes second, he's going for third and no throw made. So it'll be a stolen base for Schoonover and then an error on the catcher. Error or a passed ball. I guess you can really go either way on it. So the ball just popped out of his glove off the pitch. Regardless, Schoonover's over at third base right now. He does get credit for a steal, but able to advance 2 bases on 1 pitch. Count is 1-1 now on Kroeb, and a simple single would score the run, as would a simple wild pitch, and Willis has uncorked a lot of them this year. Ball up high, 2-1. Two outs, a runner at third base. Willis sets for the 2-1 pitch. That's in there for strike 2. The count is even. Getting to late April, the time of year where you're not as worried about playing outside in the dark. Night games are not necessarily going to be freezing cold. Weather certainly suitable today. There is a wild pitch to the backstop. Schoonover comes in to score. It's 2-0. 13th wild pitch thrown this year by Sam Willis. 3-2 on Kroeb. The bases are now empty. When this at bat started, Schoonover was at first base, and now he's scored. And Kroeb trying to keep the inning alive with a full count going here. It was a bizarre play on the stolen base. The pitch came in off the glove of Mike Luker and rolled to the backstop, so Schoonover was able to advance all the way to third. And then he scored on a wild pitch as Krob pops this ball sky high on the infield. Foul territory, and it drops. It's a foul ball, not caught by either the catcher Luker or the first baseman Pearson. They were both there. It was closer to home plate than it was to first base. So Luker had a shorter distance to go, but coming from that position, that backspin sometimes makes the play difficult on a catcher. And I don't know, maybe Pearson would have had a better shot at it. Either way, it's a foul ball. Krob swings the next pitch, though, and grounds it right to the shortstop. Throw from Lukeem over to first base is in time, and the inning is over. A single for Schoonover, a stolen base, and then a couple of wild pitches. One of them actually was called a wild pitch. Saints score. It's 2-0 as we go to the sixth. Top of the order for Trinity International. We're in the top of the sixth inning, and they trail the Saints 2-0. Matt Latimer chases the first pitch from Mac Malshevsky down in the dirt for strike one. Latimer is 1 for 2 with a single and a fly out. Saints doubled their lead in the bottom of the fifth inning, now up by 2 runs. It's been a 1-run game most of the way. There's a pop-up foul left side. Chasing it over in front of the dugout is Josh Tesh, and he runs out of room. That ball lands out of play. 0-2. Latimer, Lukeim, and Pearson due up this inning against Malshevsky, who had his best inning of the game in the fifth. He did hit one batter, Mike Luker, who was then caught stealing. Malshevsky struck out the other 2 batters. So he faced the minimum in the fifth. Still no perfect innings, but a perfect start to this one as Latimer chases another one downstairs for strike 3. He is thrown out at first base by the catcher Cebulka. 3 pitches, 1 strikeout, and a perfect start to the inning for Mac Malshevsky. Here's Lance Lukeim. Lukeim is 0 for 1. He grounded out to the shortstop in the third inning, walked in the first. He takes ball 1. Malshevsky, the freshman hurler, doing yeoman's work today for the Saints after Tyler Domi did the same in game 1. Breaker misses inside, 2-0. Just 1 run allowed now in 12 1/3 innings so far in the doubleheader. Ball off the inside corner, 3-0. We've been talking about Trinity International today and the dynamic of their team. Strong offense, weak pitching staff. That's been the case all year. Not necessarily today. There's a called strike, 3-1. Today the pitching staff has been a little bit better than the hitters have for the Trojans. But typically the story of the season has been they'll score, but they'll give up a lot. Called strike 2 over the outer edge. Full count. St. Francis doesn't necessarily have so clear an identity. They're winning ball games, 26-18 on the season. Inside, I think it hit him. And so Lukeim gets to take his base. Would have been ball 4, but it got him up around the wrist, it looked like. And he gets to take first base with 1 out. Second batter that Malshevsky has hit today. He's now hit 7 batters in 34 innings on the season, and that's a very high number. It looks amateurish next to Sam Willis's 18 hit batters in his 45 innings pitched, or 44 and a third innings pitched, but we've seen 5 batters hit by pitches now in today's game. 3 of the Saints and 2 of the Trojans. Ball 1 downstairs on Matt Pearson. Pearson's 0 for 1 with a walk. He grounded out to third base. If you can call it a ground out, it was a solid line drive that was just knocked down by Tesh. He ended up throwing it to first base for a 5-3 putout. So officially it goes down as a ground ball, but it was hit on a low line. Ball 2 on Pearson, 2-0. Next pitch. Downstairs, 3-0. Second straight batter to see a 3-0 count. 2-0, St. Francis leads, top of the 6th inning. Trinity International maybe threatening a little bit here with a runner on first, 1 out, a 3-0 count. And there's a strike, it's 3-1. But as I was saying, the Saints don't have a clear identity. It's not necessarily the offense that guides them or the pitching. They're just pretty good at everything. Ball up high, Pearson takes a walk. Back-to-back free base runners for Trinity. 5 of them today for Malshevsky. So I've been saying all along, it's been an odd pitcher's duel. The fact that there have only been 2 total runs scored through 5 innings shows that the pitchers have been good. But you wouldn't know to look at the walks and hit batters numbers, or the wild pitches for that matter. Both guys have been pretty wild. Not a lot of hits, though. Some action down in the St. Francis bullpen. Evan Doan is loosening up. Malshevsky in his first real trouble since the first inning when he did the same thing, retired the leadoff batter and then put the next 2 guys on. In that inning, he got Emmanuel Andujar to ground into a double play. Andujar is batting again right now. It's the exact same situation, in fact. Latimer was the leadoff batter who was retired. Lukheim and Pearson were the next 2 guys up who walked. And then it was Andujar. We'll see if this inning follows true to form. Malshevsky looking for the ground ball. Strike 1 called, and that's a big first step. You got to throw strikes. He hadn't been to the last 2 hitters. He fell behind both Lukheim and Pearson 3-0. But he gets ahead of Andujar 0-1. Next pitch to Emmanuel Andujar. Won't be made just yet. Malshevsky steps off the rubber. Saints entered play today with a .455 team ERA. They don't score nearly as often as Trinity International. 216 runs in 43 games, so just about 5 per game compared to the Trojans at about 5.5. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Their .455 ERA as a team is respectable. Doesn't jump off the page at you, but they just always seem to find ways to win. Fly ball out to left field. Should be a routine play for Schroeder, and it is. Malshevsky didn't get the ground ball he was looking for, but he does get the second out recorded, and that's a big one. Now if he can retire Blake Lazarus, he can put another goose egg on the scoreboard. 5 of them in a row for Mac Malshevsky. Now he's trying to leave 2 men on base. Blake Lazarus has flown out to right and to center. He bats for the 3rd time. Lukheim's at second. He was hit by a pitch. Pearson's at first. He walked. Swing and a miss. A good hard heater from Malshevsky. It's 0-1 on Lazarus. St. Francis's offensive numbers, of course, were ugly to begin the year. You go back to the middle of March, they were hitting about .220 as a team, so their offense has been very good since then. Not necessarily reflected by now in the overall numbers. Ball inside, 1-1 on Lazarus. 2 on, 2 out, 2-run game. Starting to get late here. Still a ways to go, but this is a huge out for Malshevsky if he can get it. He stares in at his catcher, Adam Cebulka, looking for the sign as Lazarus steps out of the box and now right back in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Righty versus righty. Here's the pitch. Low and in, 2-1. Now, Shevsky fell behind back-to-back hitters this inning 3-0. He put both of them on base. Then he came back and got ahead of Andujar 0-2 before he flew out to shallow left. Now another hitter's count. It's 2-1 on Lazarus. And he takes a strike over the outside corner. Back to the pitcher's favor, 2-2. A base hit from Lazarus would make this game a lot more interesting for Trinity International. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lazarus takes down low, ball 3. The runners will be on the move with this pitch. Lukheim from second base, Pearson from first. A base hit will score at least 1, the 3-2. In the dirt, good block by Cebulka, but it's another walk. Now Shevsky has walked the bases loaded. And now Angel Santana has got a chance to really make it interesting. No hits this inning for Trinity. In fact, they don't have any hits since the 4th inning, but they've had 4 base runners since then. Now, Shevsky's been wild throughout this game. He has not been hit hard, but he's had some trouble with his control, and as a result, he will depart with the bases loaded. The call has been made to the bullpen. 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. Bases loaded. St. Francis leads by 2. The dramatic conclusion of this 6th inning in just a moment. Right now, I'll step aside. Big moment here, bases loaded, 2 outs, top of the 6th inning. St. Francis leads 2-0, and they've called on Evan Doan to try to get him out of this one. Doan on for the 12th time. It's his 9th relief appearance. 2-1 with a 5.86 ERA. In 35 1/3 innings pitched, he's allowed 26 runs, 23 of them earned on 51 hits, with 18 strikeouts, 11 walks, and an opponent's batting average of .342. He comes in to face Angel Santana. Lazarus at first, Pearson at second, Lukheim at third. Santana takes strike 1. Angel Santana is 1 for 2 with a single and a ground out. All 3 batters who reached this inning did so on walks. Ball low, it's 1-1. Actually, the runner at third, Lukheim, was hit by a 3-2 pitch. It was not a walk, but same concept essentially. 1-1 count. Inside, it gets away from Cebulka, and Lukheim comes in to score. A wild pitch thrown by Doan. And the control problems continue to be just that, problems. Now Shevsky most of the game, and now Doan has made it a 2-1 score. Trinity International does not have a single hit, but they've had 3 base runners and scored a run. Everybody moved up. Not just the run scorer. Pearson up to third, Lazarus to second, and it's now a 2-1 count on Santana. That's just the second wild pitch that Evan Doan has thrown all year. 2 balls and 1 strike. Outside, that one nearly got away from Cebulka. 3-1. Nobody can throw strikes right now. Doan started off Santana 0-1, but he's missed on 3 in a row, and they have not been close. That one was close enough to be a strike. It's 3-2. Full count, 1 strike away from ending the inning. Trinity International has scored once, but it's still a 1-run lead for the Fighting Saints. Payoff pitch. Ground ball left side. Backhanded sliding stop and no play for Dustin Krob. The tying run scores on an infield hit for Santana. That's 2-2. Lazarus up to third base. Pearson scores. And there's another area where the wild pitch kills you. For one thing, an infield hit prior to that wild pitch would have only made it a 2-1 game, but if the bases had been loaded there, Krob may have had a chance to get the runner at third or second without having to make the long throw to first base. It's tough to say, but that wild pitch certainly didn't do any favors to St. Francis. We're going to get a pinch hitter right now for Kobe Chapman. Mike Balistreri is coming in. Balistreri started game 1 at first base. He went 0 for 1 with a walk and a hit by pitch. That's been the flavor of the game 2. Walks and hit by pitches. There's a ball in the dirt from Doan. Runners stay put. Cebulka throws down to first. Cannot get Santana there. 1-0 on Balistreri. 2-2 tie. Trinity has scored 2 runs in the 6th inning, both with 2 outs and both with big help from the St. Francis pitching staff. Runner at third base is still Mac Malshevsky's responsibility, so his day is not completely done. 5 2/3 innings pitched so far, 2 runs allowed. Both of them after he left the game, though. Pickoff attempt to third base. Lazarus back to the bag. Santana's at first. Lazarus is at third. Angel Santana picked up the RBI infield hit. It's the only hit of the inning. Balistreri flies it out to deep right center field, and that is the second hit of the inning as it skips all the way to the wall. Lazarus scores. Santana around third base to score. Balistreri heading for third, and he makes it in with a triple. A 2-run triple. Trinity International leads 4-2. And that was the first hard hit ball of the inning. But it brings home the 3rd and 4th runs of the 6th inning for Trinity. And that's what I've been saying all day. It's just hard to keep this offense down all game. It's a good offense, all day, I should say. 2 games. And when you give them this many free base runners, it's hard to imagine they won't make you pay. Ball 1 low and in on Mike Luker. Luker is 0 for 1 with a ground out. He was hit by a pitch his last time up. He takes a ball outside, 2-0. So now the day is done for Malshevsky. 3 runs allowed in 5 2/3 innings, all of them earned. The 4th run is charged to Evan Doan. Luker fouls it away, 2-1. Malshevsky, for the most part, pitched well, but 4 walks and 2 hit batters in 5 2/3 innings. And like I said, you can't make that many mistakes and expect to get away with them. 6 free base runners. Strike over the inside corner, 2-2. On the flip side, Sam Willis has made nearly as many mistakes. We'll see if the Saints can make him pay for all of his infractions next inning. There's a called strike 3 over the inside corner. Mike Luker is retired on strikes. The inning began with a strikeout. It ends with a strikeout, but in between, a lot of walks, a big triple for Balistreri, and 4 runs. We head to the bottom of the 6th. The visiting team now leads 4-2. Saints have some work to do here in the bottom of the sixth as they trail for the first time all day. They led wire to wire in game one. Here in game two, they had been up 2-0, but a 4-run top half of the sixth for Trinity International makes it a 4-2 lead for them. Joe McGuire leads off the bottom of the sixth and takes ball one up and in. McGuire is 0 for 2. He's flown out to center and to right, facing Sam Willis for a third time. He swings and misses, 1-1. Willis has been a little bit wild, but otherwise he's been sharp. I said the same thing about Mac Malshevsky at the start of this inning. In the top half of the frame, he's been a little bit wild, but otherwise effective. Well, in the top of the sixth, he went from a little bit wild to a lot wild, and that cost him 4 runs. See if the same thing happens to Willis here. McGuire fouls it away, 1-2. So plenty of time in this game. No time for St. Francis to panic. They've got 4 innings of offense still in front of them. And they do have a pitcher on the mound who has at times struggled to throw strikes. 1-2 is the count. And time is called before the next pitch. McGuire is set to be followed this inning by Anthony Farron and Josh Tesh, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. So it's a good group to have come up right after Trinity just scored 4 runs to try to recapture the momentum for St. Francis. Maybe recapture a lead, too. Ball outside, 2-2. Since conference play began, the Saints have lost only 1 game here at home. Ball outside, full count. That one game was on March 31st. It was a 2-0 loss to Robert Morris. That was just a really well-pitched game. Every now and then, no matter how hot you are, you run into a pitcher who's on his game and nothing you can do about him. Strike 3 called over the inside corner, 1 away in the sixth. McGuire thought he had drawn the leadoff walk. Instead, he is rung up. That pitch in a similar location, I think, to the one that got Mike Luker called out on strikes to end the top half of this inning. McGuire is the second strikeout victim of Sam Willis today. Here's Anthony Farron. Farron is 0 for 2 with a flyout and a groundout. 2 hits in game one today. He swings the first pitch here and pops it up on the infield. It's the pitcher making the call for it. Willis makes the catch along the first base line. 2 down. You don't often see a pop out that the pitcher catches himself, but that's the case for the second out in the sixth inning. And the batter is Josh Tesh. Tesh has not yet been retired in this game. He singled and scored a run in the second. He was hit by a pitch in the fourth. Tesh takes ball one, low and outside here. We still, in this game, have seen only a total of 8 hits. 5 of them for the Trojans, 3 for the Saints. 2 of Trinity's 5 hits came in their 4-run sixth inning. Swing and a miss, 1-1 on Tesh. For the Saints, 2 of their 3 hits came in their run-scoring second inning. All 3 hits for St. Francis have been singles. Ball low and away. Count is 2-1. Two outs, nobody on base. We have not yet seen a 1-2-3 inning this whole game. Could this be the first? Ball 3 outside, 3-1. Willis came close in the fifth. He retired the first 2 batters before Travis Schoonover singled to left. Schoonover eventually came in to score on a wild pitch. 3-1. Tesh takes ball 4 outside, so we do not have our first 1-2-3 inning game. Instead, we have something we've seen a lot of today. That's a free pass. Surprisingly, that's the first one of those issued by Sam Willis, but he has hit 3 batters. So the 4th free base runner for St. Francis in 5 2/3 innings. Now we'll see if the Saints can make Willis pay the way the Trojans made Malshevsky pay. Vinny Schroeder is 0 for 2. He has struck out and flown to left. He takes ball 1 up and away. Willis has thrown 8 balls this inning and only 5 strikes. McGuire thought he had walked before he was called out on the borderline strike 3 call. Swing and a miss from Schroeder, 1-1. And Tesh actually did walk on a pitch that was not borderline, very clearly outside the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitcher is set. Schroeder fouls it back off the netting. 1-2. Schroeder still looking for his first hit of the doubleheader. He's 0 for 5 with a sacrifice bunt. Now would be a good time for it as the Saints trail for the first time all day. A 2-run game in the bottom of the 6th. They began the inning up by 2. Now they're trying not to leave the inning down by 2. Ball high, couldn't get Schroeder to chase it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. John Peterson is on deck. Willis working hard here for the Trojans today. Sets for the 2-2. Fouled back by Schroeder to stay alive. Just got a piece of that one. Knocked it out of the glove of Mike Luker. Sam Willis went through an odd stretch for a couple innings where it seemed like every at-bat was going by on 1 pitch. 4 consecutive hitters saw only 1 pitch at the plate, and then the next guy up saw only 2. It's not been the case here in the 6th. A lot of good, tough battles. That pitch in the dirt. The runner goes for second, and the throw is not in time. It's a wild pitch as Schroeder takes ball 3. Tesh takes second base. Willis potentially on the verge here of back-to-back walks. He's also, thanks to more wildness, put a man in scoring position. A base hit here could give the Saints a run. We'll see a pinch runner at second base. It's Noah Carraro. That's the second wild pitch of the day for Willis. He's walked 3, or he's hit 3, I should say. He's walked 1. He's thrown 2 wild pitches. And now full count on Schroeder. Carraro has already run in today's game for Adam Cebulka back in the 3rd inning, but that was as a courtesy runner for the catcher. Now he's in as the pinch runner. Payoff pitch. Schroeder takes ball 4 outside. This inning is playing out an awful lot like the top half did. That eventually resulted in 4 runs for Trinity. What will St. Francis do with their golden opportunity? John Peterson at the bat. Schroeder's at first. Tesh is at second. 6 walks plus hit batters for Malshevsky in 5 2/3 innings. 5 of the same for Sam Willis in 5 2/3. Ball outside, 1-0. So the combination between walks and hit by pitches, we've seen 11 of them. We've only seen 8 hits. It's been that kind of game. 1-0. Peterson takes another one below the knees. 2-0. Willis is all over the place right now. 13 balls this inning. Only 8 strikes. 2 walks, and that means 2 men on base. There's been a wild pitch as well. And another ball outside. 3-0 on Peterson. Willis is in danger of loading the bases. Dolan Nicholson is on deck. He's the only one with an RBI hit in the game for St. Francis. Nobody is throwing in the bullpen for Trinity. Willis trying to get through this 6th inning. He's only 1 out away. 3-0. To the backstop. Nicholson walks. Carraro takes the turnaround third, but will not have an opportunity to advance 2 bases. So the only thing that prevented that from being the 3rd wild pitch of the game from Sam Willis is the fact that it was the 4th walk of the game from Willis. Check that. It's only his 3rd walk. Sorry, 3rd walk. They've all come in a row. And all with 2 outs here in the 6th. We've got a meeting on the mound. Still nobody throwing in the bullpen. That doesn't necessarily mean we won't see a change. Sometimes can see a change from a guy who is in the field. Matt Pearson is the first baseman. He's also a pitcher. Kobe Chapman is a pitcher as well. So we'll see if they do elect to make a change here. If they're going to stick with Willis to face Nicholson. With the bases loaded, 2 outs, a 2-run game. Trinity International has the lead. Willis will stay in. 3 straight walks have been issued. Willis has thrown twice as many balls as strikes this inning. And he's thrown a lot of pitches, well over 20 now. Nicholson is 1 for 2. Picked up the RBI single in the second inning. Last time up, he tried to bunt his way on and tapped out to the catcher. First pitch to Nicholson is up and away. So the meeting on the mound did nothing, at least in the short term, to assuage his control issues. 1-0. He's missed the zone on 6 consecutive pitches. Make it 7. 2-0 on Nicholson. Joe McGuire struck out looking on what he thought was ball 4 to start this 6th inning. Then Anthony Farron popped out on the first pitch. Nicholson takes a strike. It's 2-1. After the first pitch pop out for Farron, Willis just completely lost it. 3 consecutive walks. All with 2 outs, and they're all on base right now. Nicholson swings and lines it into right center field. That's down for a base hit. 1 run is in. Here comes Schroeder to tie the score. The throw is not in time. On the throw to the plate, Nicholson takes second base. He's got 3 RBIs now in the game. Give him 5 for the season and give us a 4-4 tie score. What a wild 6th inning. We've now seen 6 total runs scored between these two teams combined on 3 hits in this 6th inning. They're at 2nd and 3rd right now for St. Francis, and another hit could give them as much as a 2-run lead back. They did lead this game by 2 just a little while ago. It was 2-0. Now it's 4-4. Adam Cebulka is 0 for 1 with a ground out, and he will not apparently bat for himself here. We're going to get a pinch hitter. Man with the bat in his hands right now is Kevin Rada, reserve catcher. Kevin Rada is just 2 for 25 on the season. Brian Mahalik is going with him here with a chance to take the lead. And Rada is intentionally walked. I don't get it. Sam Willis has not been able to throw any strikes this inning. He had a free base. There are 2 outs, so you're not setting up a double play here. He just intentionally walked an 080 hitter to get to a 307 hitter who's already had a good day with the bat today. You set up a situation where a walk forces in the go-ahead run, and 3 of the last 4 batters have been walked by Willis. I could maybe understand the rationale for the intentional walk if there were 1 out and you were trying to set up a double play, but there are 2 outs, so that's off the table. Cebulka is going to check in for Rada, so he comes back in to run for himself. It's an odd feeling for Adam Cebulka coming in to run. And now he departs for the courtesy runner. You can't put in a courtesy runner for Rada because he is a pinch hitter. You can only put in a courtesy runner for the catcher. Cebulka is the catcher, so he had to come back in before they could put in the runner. So Sean Harper's going to run for him at first base. And again, I really can't figure why Rada was intentionally walked in the first place. It's a real head scratcher. But now Schoonover's got a chance to put the Saints back in front. The 6th inning, about 45 minutes old right now. We've seen 6 total runs scored. We've now seen 6 walks, a hit batter, a couple of wild pitches. We've seen 3 hits. And if we see 1 more here, the Saints will be back in front. Schoonover swings the first pitch and fouls it back, strike 1. Travis Schoonover's 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. He's also been hit by a pitch. The 0-1. Outside for a ball, 1-1. There have been 4 walks this inning. One of them was intentional. But the bases are loaded now. Just 1 hit so far in the inning. 2 runs have scored. Ball in the dirt, 2-1. A walk would give St. Francis the lead. A wild pitch, a passed ball, or a base hit, or a hit by pitch. We've seen 3 of those in this game. From Sam Willis. Willis was visited by his manager a few batters ago, but he's still out there trying to make it through this 6th inning. Schoonover hits a hard grounder, but right at the second baseman. Santana throws to first. The side is retired. So he pitches around the bases loaded jam and gets out of the 6th inning with a tie score. But the Saints do score twice on 1 hit. And as we head to the 7th, it's a brand new ball game, 4-4. Top of the 7th inning, 4-4 game. It's been a tight one throughout. Things took a weird turn in the 6th as Julius Torres takes a strike. We're underway in the 7th. Evan Doan on the mound. Doan faced 3 batters in the 6th inning, gave up 2 hits, 1 run, allowed a couple of inherited runners to score as well. Now he gets to start an inning for the first time. As he hits the outside corner. It's 0-2. Doan struck out Mike Luker to end the last inning. This had been a pitcher's duel between Malshevsky and Willis through the first 5 innings. Ball outside, 1-2. But all throughout it had a weird feeling to it because neither pitcher was throwing strikes consistently. Neither pitcher had a perfect inning and still does not. It just felt like at some point, one of 2 things had to happen. There's a grounder to the right side. Farron backhands it, takes it to the bag, and steps on first in time to retire Torres. 1 out. Anytime you have a game like that, every now and then, the pitcher will settle in. After getting away with some mistakes early, he'll turn it around and dominate the rest of the way. But the other option is for all those mistakes to eventually catch up to him, and that's what happened in the 6th inning for both pitchers. The exact same time, their wildness got the better of them. Ball outside, 1-0 on Latimer. Matt Latimer is 1 for 3 with a single and a stolen base in today's game. 4-4 tie. 6 of the 8 runs were scored in that 6th inning. It had been 2-0 after 5. Strike 1 called, 1-1. Doan, the side armor, delivers. Latimer, left-handed hitter, pops it foul to the left side and onto the lawn. Count is 1-2. One out, nobody on base. Doan trying to set down his 3rd consecutive batter. Fly ball, shallow left field. Coming on is Schroeder. He makes the catch. 2 down. Lance Lukheim now, the only one standing in the way. Actually, it's not Lukheim, it's Luis Enriquez. Enriquez actually came in last inning. So now he gets his first at bat of the game. But he's run the bases, he's played in the field. So Enriquez replaces Lukheim in the lineup and takes ball 1 up and in. Enriquez started at short in game 1 tonight. He went 0 for 3 with a walk. 1-0. Strike called over the outside corner. 1-1. Fouled off to the right side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Doan 1 strike away from a perfect 7th inning. This could be a big momentum boost for St. Francis if they can have this 1-2-3 7th. Haven't had one of those all game. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch behind him. 2-2. 4 runs, 5 hits. 1 error for Trinity International. 4 runs, 4 hits. No errors for St. Francis. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. Up high, ball 3. Doan got ahead of Henriquez, but now the Trinity shortstop has made an at-bat out of it. Threatening to reach base and keep the inning alive, and he does just that. He takes ball 4, and it's another walk. We've seen a good week's worth of those in this game. 2-out base runner for Trinity, and that's the last thing that Doan wanted to do, not just because it's a base runner, but because it's a base runner in front of the number 3 hitter, Matt Pearson. Pearson's 0 for 1 in the game, but he has walked twice. A .407 hitter for the year. He takes ball 1 low and in. After getting ahead of Henriquez with 2 outs, a 1-2 count, he has missed on 4 consecutive pitches. It's the first walk issued by Doan in this game, in his inning and a third. Or I should say just 1 inning so far. There's a called strike, 1-1. Pearson walked and scored as part of the 4-run rally in the 6th. Trying to get a 2-out rally going in the 7th inning. Ball inside, strike inside, rather. Inside corner, it's 1-2. 1-2 on the slugger, Pearson. For the 2nd time, Doan is 1 strike away from ending the inning. Runner goes, and he's drilled in the back. The batter, that is, not the runner. Enriquez up to 2nd base. Pearson takes first as he's hit by a pitch. I said we've seen enough walks for a week here. We've seen enough hit by pitches for about 2 months. That's the 3rd batter that has been hit by a St. Francis pitcher today. 3 St. Francis batters have been hit as well. Here's Emmanuel Andujar. Andujar takes strike 1. Andujar's a .388 hitter for the year. He's gone 1 for 3 in this game with a single, a fly out, and a double play grounder. 2 on, 2 out, tie game in the 7th. Doan's 0-1, up and away. In the 6th inning, the number 2 batter was hit by a pitch. The number 3 man walked. The reverse is true here in the 7th. Number 2 batter walks. Number 3 man hit by a pitch. Ball outside. It's 2-1. Doan's the guy right now for St. Francis. Tyler Domi pitched 6 innings in game 1, so he will not be available as reliever here in game 2. Ball 3, up and away. Hunter Morawski could make an appearance later. He did pitch game 1, but not for very long. Threw only 10 pitches in that appearance. 3-1. Lined into left field. That's a base hit. Here comes Henriquez around 3rd base. The throw from Schroeder is not in time. It's an RBI single for Andujar. 5-4, Trinity back in front. Emmanuel Andujar has his second hit of the game. It's his 28th RBI this year. Actually, make that his 29th RBI of the year. He had one in game 1 as well, the only one in that game for the Trojans. Pearson made it as far as second base, so they're at first and second again with 2 outs, and the batter is Blake Lazarus. And Lazarus is hit by a pitch. The bases are full. Second hit batter of the inning. 4th of the game by St. Francis Hurlers. Nobody can throw strikes in this one. The conditions are fine. There was a little bit of rain earlier today. Just a drizzle, really. Not enough to impact the game in any way, and certainly not enough to affect this game because the rain stopped hours ago. I don't think there's an excuse, but no pitcher who's pitched today. The 2 for St. Francis, the 1 for Trinity. Just in this game, not in game 1. But none of the 3 guys who have been on the mound have been anywhere close to the strike zone consistently. It has not been a pretty game. We've seen 9 runs score on only 10 total hits. The bases are loaded this inning. 1 run is already in, and there's only been 1 hit. Ball outside on Angel Santana, 1-0. Santana is 2 for 3 with an RBI. Ball off the outside corner, 2-0. There's a right-hander warming up in the St. Francis bullpen now. Again, their options are limited based on their schedule this week. Ball low. The count is 3-0 on Santana. A walk here would force in another run. For Evan Doan, this is uncharacteristic. He fires a strike, 3-1. Mac Malshevsky's had control problems all year. Sam Willis has had major control problems all year. Doan's walking and hitting guys left and right, and he has not had that problem at all this season. There's a grounder to the shortstop. Crow picks it up, throws to second, and that ends the inning. So Doan does finally get out of the big jam, but 1 run scores for Trinity on 1 hit, a couple of hit batters, and a walk. And we will head to the bottom of the 7th with Trinity on top, 5-4. It's 5-4. Trinity International leads St. Francis. We're in the top of the 7th inning, or the bottom of the 7th inning, rather. Now just beginning. Dustin Kroeb leads things off for the Fighting Saints. And he takes ball 1 up high from Sam Willis. Willis still in the game despite massive struggles with his command. He's got a combined 7 walks plus hit batters through 6 innings. Ball outside, 2-0. In the 6th inning, he walked 4 men and allowed 2 runs as a result of it. But his team regained the lead with a run in the top of the 7th. Ball inside, 3-0 on Krob. Willis, these last few innings, has thrown more balls than strikes. He's only allowed 4 hits in the game, but a lot of free base runners, and here's another one. 4-pitch walk, Krob is aboard. That's the 8th free pass issued to a St. Francis batter today. As for Trinity International hitters, they've had 10 of them, or make that 9. They've had 9 of them put on for free. So 17 total free base runners. We're not yet through the 7th inning. There have only been 10 hits in this game. Sam Willis finally done for the day. We will have a new pitcher here with a runner at first, nobody out, 1-run game, bottom of the 7th. I'll tell you all about him in just a few moments. It's going to be McGuire against the new pitcher when I come back. Down by a run, the Saints have the tying runner over at first base with nobody out in the bottom of the 7th. Joe McGuire coming up against a new Trinity International pitcher, right-hander Ian Ryan. Ryan on for the 9th time. He's started 1 game. This is his 8th relief appearance. He's 0-2 with an even 12 ERA. He sets for the first pitch to McGuire, and it's way outside for ball 1. Ryan has pitched 15 innings this year. He's allowed 25 runs, 20 of them earned on 27 hits. 13 walks, 8 strikeouts, a 4.09 opponent's average. Problems today have been walks and hit batters. Well, he's walked 13 and hit 5 in only 15 innings this year. We'll see if he's on today. This is for ball 2, 2-0 on McGuire. McGuire has flown out twice and struck out. 0 for 3 in the ball game. Has not been a pretty game today if you like strike throwers. I think most people tend to. Sam Willis was chased from the game after 6+ innings. He's had a lot of control problems, but he really fell off the rails towards the end. 5 of the last 7 batters he faced drew walks. One of them was intentional. Still counts as a walk. 2-0. Popped up foul to the right side and out of play. It's 2-1. Final numbers, 6 innings pitched. 4 runs allowed. Well, I guess they're not final numbers yet because the man at first could make it 5 runs allowed if he comes in to score. But for right now anyway, Sam Willis, 6 innings, 4 runs. Ryan is set for the 2-1. McGuire swings and flies it into center field. Should be an easy play for Latimer. Latimer makes the catch. 1 out. 3rd time in the game that McGuire has flown out. And that brings up Anthony Farron. Amazingly, for all the base runners that St. Francis has had in this game, the 3 and 4 hitters, McGuire and Farron, have gone a combined 0 for 7 and have not reached once. Those are the only 2 players in the lineup not to have been on base, and that's not something you typically see from your 3 and 4 batters. Farron has flown to right, grounded to third, and popped out to the pitcher. First one is smoked down the third base line, foul, strike 1. Down that left field line, Kevin Cardis continues to throw for St. Francis. So appearances right now indicate that he will likely come out to pitch the 8th inning. Evan Doan has thrown the last inning and a third and has not been as effective as he'd like to be. 0-1 on Farron. The meeting on the mound between Mike Luker and Ian Ryan is over. Farron digs back into the box. Farron had a big game 1, 2 doubles, a walk, an RBI. Nothing doing yet in game 2, but he can change that. Tying run at first base. Oh, 0-1 count. It's been a while since the last pitch. Meeting on the mound and now a little delay, but Ryan's ready to go. So he throws over to first base and Kroeb dives back to the bag. Dustin Kroeb walked to begin this inning. McGuire moved ahead in the count 2-0, but ultimately flew to center field. Another stoppage with Ryan taking a long time between pitches. Farron steps out. Ryan and Luker perhaps not quite on the same page because Ian Ryan's taking a long time between each throw. He had a long meeting with Luker before the second pitch to Farron. In fact, we still haven't seen the second pitch to Farron. Long meeting, a couple of throws to first base. Farron's had to step out of the box once. And now finally we're ready for the 0-1. Farron drives it deep down the left field line, but that's foul. He crushed that ball. He's crushed both pitches that have come his way, but both of them have been foul balls. Ian Ryan retired the first batter he faced. Now trying to get 2 in a row. Josh Tesh is in the on-deck circle. In the 6th inning, Trinity was able to score 4 runs to take the lead, but St. Francis immediately came back and tied it up. Trinity scored again in the 7th. The St. Francis have it in them again to jump right back in and tie it up, or even take the lead. Runner goes. Farron swings and flies it into center field. Kroeb returns to first base as Latimer makes the catch, 2 down. So the middle of the order struggles continue. The 3 and 4 batters are now 0 for 8. And Josh Tesh is the hitter. Tesh has done some nice work in this game. He has not been retired. 1 for 1 with a single, a walk, a hit by pitch, and 2 runs scored. Now he's trying to drive one in. Junior third baseman Josh Tesh, right-handed hitter, has been swinging a hot bat. He takes strike 1. 4 hits on Saturday, had a pair of them in each half of the doubleheader at St. Xavier. Then in game 1 today, he reached base twice. He's been on 3 times here in game 2. Ball in the dirt. Good stop by Luker. Count is 1-1. Kroeb drew a leadoff walk against Sam Willis. Willis departed. Ian Ryan came in, and so far Ryan has done the job. Facing 2 of the tougher hitters on the team, he's gotten back-to-back flyouts to center field. Tesh is the final hope for the Fighting Saints this inning. He takes a strike over the inside corner. 1-2. Ryan has been very wild statistically this year, but today hasn't shown it. First guy we've seen in a while who's been throwing strikes consistently. 1-2 on Tesh. Tesh hits a chopper to the third base side. Tough play for the charging Lazarus. The throw to first is not in time. Matt Pearson, by the way, at third base. Sorry about that confusion, but Pearson was the one at third base, not able to make the play. It's an infield hit for Tesh. And there are 2 men on with 2 outs for Vinny Schroeder. Schroeder hasn't done a lot with the bat today. He's 0 for 5 in the doubleheader, but he did walk and score a run in the 6th inning today. And a base hit right here would tie it up, most likely. Krob at second, Tesh at first. Pitch from Ian Ryan. Popped up foul to the left side by Schroeder and out of play. Five to 4 Trinity International. The Saints took game 1 6-1. But they have been involved in a dogfight here in game 2. Ball outside, 1-1. It has not been a powerful game by any means here. Fouled off to the right side, out of play, 1-2. The Saints do not have an extra base hit. They've only got 4 hits in the game. The Trojans have 1 extra base hit, and it was a big one. 2-run triple hit by Balistreri in the top of the 6th inning. But here we are in a game in the bottom of the 7th in which 9 runs have been scored. There's only been 1 extra base hit. It was a triple. 2-run triple for Balistreri. Ball in the dirt, 2-2. If Schroeder reaches base, John Peterson bats next. Saints trying to mount a 2-out rally for the 2nd straight inning. Ball high, the count is full. Last inning was a little bit more dramatic. There were 2 outs with nobody on base. And the next 5 men all reached consecutively. Granted, 4 of them were on walks. There was only 1 hit, but still, they got 2 runs out of it. 2 runs are 2 runs. The 3-2 pitch just misses for ball 4. A borderline call does not go Trinity's way. Mike Luker visibly frustrated by not getting it. Schroeder down to first base as he draws his 2nd walk of the game. And Ian Ryan has officially joined the walks club. Bases are full. John Peterson's got a chance to come up huge here. Tying run at 3rd, the go-ahead runs at 2nd. Peterson takes ball 1. The way that this game has gone, Peterson might as well just stand in and take his walk. I'm not trying to criticize Ian Ryan. It just seems to be a hex on every pitcher today. Nobody can throw strikes. Peterson fouls it back, 1-1. Peterson has flown out. He's bunted out to the pitcher. Last time up, he took a base on balls. Bases full, 2 outs, 1-run game. Peterson swings and shoots it through the hole on the left side. Krob scores. Here comes Josh Tesh, the throw from left field, not in time. A 2-run single for John Peterson. The Saints reclaim the lead. 6-5. One of those runs charged to Willis. Second one, an unearned run. Tesh reached officially on a throwing error on third baseman Matt Pearson. That's charged to Ian Ryan. St. Francis, for the 2nd time in this game, is able to overcome a deficit. Peterson has his first hit of the game. That single. He eventually got to second base on the play as Dolan Nicholson flies it out to right field. Emmanuel Andujar is under it, and Andujar makes the catch to end the inning. So Nicholson flies out. He's had a good day, though. 2 hits, 3 RBIs, so you'll forgive him for ending this rally. Saints score twice. They lead 6-5. 2 innings to play here in Joliet. One-run lead for St. Francis in the top of the 8th, 6-5, and a new pitcher on the mound for the Fighting Saints. It is right-hander Kevin Cardis on for the 7th time. He's 0-1 with an 11.37 ERA. In 12 2/3 innings, he's allowed 18 runs, 16 of them earned on 24 hits with 11 strikeouts, 6 walks. Opponents are batting .400 against him. His first pitch is a ball downstairs. We're underway in the 8th. The batter is Mike Balistreri, the first baseman, who pinch hit in the 6th inning. Picked up a 2-run triple, the biggest hit of the game for Trinity. Now batting for the 2nd time. He takes a strike, gets 1-1. Evan Doan is the man that Cardis replaces. Doan pitched an inning and a third. He allowed 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 2 hit batters, and a wild pitch. Cardis trying to avoid the free passes. Those have been the plague on both teams today. There's a pop-up behind home plate, foul territory. And now over on the left side, it's the third baseman, Tesh, coming on to make the play. Balistreri is retired. That's a big first out. One away here in the 8th. The batter is Mike Luker. Saints scored a run in the 2nd, 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th. Trinity's offense came 4 runs in the 6th, 1 in the 7th. Mike Luker will not bat. We've got a pinch hitter here. It is Michael Wojcik. So the change is made. It is Joel Stevenson rather than Wojcik, wearing Wojcik's uniform number, but it is number 4 Stevenson wearing number 14 in the batter's box. So Stevenson is the hitter here with 1 out and nobody on. Stevenson was the starting catcher in game 1. He went 0 for 3. And he takes ball 1 low from Cardis. Kevin Cardis, a freshman pitcher. Haven't seen him much during conference play. Ball low and away, 2-0. Talked about it all day, though. It's a busy week. 2 games today, 1 on Friday, 2 on Saturday. So 5 games in 4 days. Means that you've got to utilize that entire staff. There's a called strike. It's 2-1. I assume that in the 3-game series against Trinity Christian, we'll see John Reardon, Michael Quirum, and Angel Sandoval. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Ball inside, 3-1. And then hopefully a fully stocked bullpen as well. Domi through the 6 innings today. He'll probably not be ready on Friday, maybe by Saturday to pitch in relief. There's ball 4. Cardis walks Luker. Another free pass. There's a man on with 1 out. Tying run is aboard for Trinity. Looks like Hunter Morawski has begun to throw down the left field line. Morawski did pitch in game 1, but again, he only threw 10 pitches in that one. I'm sure Brian Mahalik would rather not have to use him for multiple innings, but he's not afraid to use him again. Twice in one day. There's a ground ball to the left side. Krob gathers it, throws to second, and gets the force there. Good play by Krob. No chance on that softly hit ball to turn 2, but they're able to get the lead runner. 6-4 on the fielder's choice. Julius Torres is safe at first. 2 outs, 1 on, and back to the top of the order, and Matt Latimer. Latimer is 1 for 4 with a single. Batting for the 3rd consecutive inning here. He was not able to get in on the run-scoring fun in the 6th or 7th, though. He was retired in both cases. He takes strike 1 from Cardis. If Cardis can retire Latimer here, this will be a great relief appearance for the freshman in a time where the Saints absolutely need it. Trying to protect a 1-run lead late in a big-time conference matchup. Fouled away. It's 0-2. Trinity Christian, a half game behind the Saints in the standings, will be in town on Friday. The Trolls already lost a doubleheader today, so that would make it even bigger. If St. Francis can win this, they will pick up 2 full games on them. As for Olivet Nazarene, they were a half game behind the Fighting Saints for second place coming into today as well. And they swept their doubleheader, so Saints need a win to stay in front of them. Ball in the dirt, the runner on the move, and no throw made. Cebulka had to dig that pitch out of the dirt. He wasn't able to make a throw down to second base. It's a steal for Julius Torres. And now the tying run is in scoring position. A 1-2 count on Latimer. That back got even bigger. Ground ball up the middle. Krob ranges to his left. He's able to glove it. The throw to first is a step ahead of Latimer, and the inning is over. Runner left at second base. Nice work by Cardis as he pitches a scoreless 8th. We'll head to the bottom of the inning. St. Francis on top by 1. Bottom of the 8th inning. St. Francis in a wild back and forth game is just 3 outs away from a win, but they wouldn't mind a few insurance runs first. Adam Cebulka will try to get them for them as he leads things off in the bottom of the 8th against Ian Ryan. First pitch to Cebulka. Ball 1 low and away. Back to the top of the order after this. Schoonover and Krob, if anybody reaches. Joe McGuire will face Ryan. Ian Ryan came in last inning with a runner at first base and nobody out. There's a called strike. It's 1-1. He ended up retiring the first 2 batters he faced, but then 3 consecutive men reached, 2 runs scored before he got out of the inning. It'll go on his stat sheet as a blown save. Here comes the 1-1. Ryan taking his time on the mound. Now it's coming. It's low. 2-1. It was a tight game, a hotly contested pitcher's ball game for the first 5 innings. Saints led 2-0. And then all hell broke loose in the 6th as Cebulka swings and misses. 2-2. Sixth inning saw 16 total batters come to the plate, 8 in the top half, 8 in the bottom half. We saw 6 total runs score that inning on just 3 hits. 4 runs on 2 hits for Trinity, 2 runs on 1 hit for St. Francis. There's a ball outside. 3-2 count. Adam Cebulka is 0 for 1 in the game. He's grounded out and been hit by a pitch. He was pinch hit for back in the 6th inning with Kevin Rada. Rada was intentionally walked, and Cebulka came right back in. Pretty easy day's work for Rada. Got to go down to first base, never saw a pitch, and then departed. Cebulka fouls it away, out of play, still 3-2. Seventh pitch upcoming from Ryan to Cebulka. Here it is. Hard hit grounder foul to the left side. Still 3-2. Cebulka putting up a fight in this first at bat in the bottom of the 8th inning. Ian Ryan is just the second pitcher in this game for Trinity International. Sam Willis was the starter. He went 6+. Cebulka takes ball 4 outside. Second walk issued by Ryan. Saints have the leadoff man aboard. Ryan is a freshman, and he's from not too far from here. Trinity International is in the northern suburbs of Chicago, and of course Joliet to the southwest of the city. Ryan is from Oak Forest, Illinois, which is a south suburb, but he decided to do his collegiate schooling up north a little bit, Deerfield. Travis Schoonover is the batter, and Schoonover takes ball 1 outside. Bailey Schultz is in as the runner at first base. Typically, Noah Carraro is your runner at first whenever Adam Cebulka reaches base, but Carraro was used earlier as a pinch runner. Here comes Jack Jordan once again to talk with Ian Ryan. Ryan's not throwing strikes as consistently as he would like to. I don't think anybody has thrown enough strikes in this game. Sam Willis and Ian Ryan, the 2 pitchers who have gone a combined 7 innings in this one for Trinity International, have teamed up for 7 walks, 3 hit batters, and 2 wild pitches. Meanwhile, the 3 pitchers for St. Francis today have combined on 6 walks, 4 hit batters, and 1 wild pitch. One 1-0 on Schoonover. He's 1 for 3 with a single. He's been hit by a pitch. He's stolen a base, and he has scored a run. He scored a run in the 5th when he singled with 2 outs. He stole second, made it to third on a pass ball, and then scored on a wild pitch. The stolen base and the passed ball, by the way, were the same pitch. Regardless, though, he singled and then scored within the next at bat. He advanced 3 bases without anybody making contact. There's a called strike. It's 1-1. At the time, I thought that's probably the strangest run we'll see today. Well, we've seen nothing but strange runs ever since then. That made it 2-0 in the 5th. Now it's 6-5 in the 8th. 1-1. He reaches out and taps it to the left field. Shallow. It drops in for a base hit. Just out of the reach of the diving Luis Henriquez. For Travis Schoonover, not a great piece of hitting, but he did exactly what he needed to. He put the bat on the ball, and he put the ball where there were no defenders. A soft single to left field. He'll take it. 3rd time he's reached base today. 2 on, nobody out for Dustin Kroeb. Kroeb is 0 for 3. He has flown out twice, grounded out, walked, and scored. Kroeb squares up to bunt, drops it down the 3rd baseline, picked up by Pearson. The throw to first is in time. And there's out number 1, but the runners advance. A successful sacrifice for Kroeb. Very successful. Not only did he get the runners over, but he avoided getting drilled by that pitch. It seemed like he left the bat out there in self-defense more than anything. pitch was riding inside. He jumped out of the way, left the bat in front of it, and a very nice bunt from Krogh. As he is retired on the play, Schoonover up to second base. Bailey Schultz to third. Only one down. The batter's Joe McGuire. Well, now this has been the easy part of the order for Trinity's pitchers today. The 3 and 4 batters have gone a combined 0 for 8. They're the only 2 players in the lineup not to have reached base. Ball in the dirt. 1-0 on Joe McGuire. McGuire has struck out and flown out 3 times. He's 0 for 4. McGuire trying to put this game away by being part of a big inning. Strike called, 1-1. Trinity's got their 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Actually make that their 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up next inning. Probably against Hunter Morawski. McGuire flies it out to right field. Andujar backs up, makes the catch. Tagging from third is Bailey Schultz, and he scores. It's 7-5. Well, that's what McGuire's been doing all day. He's been flying out, and this is one case where that's exactly what he wanted to do. Nice work by McGuire, picking up the RBI for the St. Francis DH. That's the 21st run batted in this year. Schoonover stayed at second base. He's there with 2 outs for Anthony Farron. The point I was making a moment ago, Trinity's got the heart of their order coming up. They've been scoring pretty well in the later innings in this game, so nothing that Farron does here or McGuire before him would specifically put the game away, but he can put it very close to out of reach with a few big hits. Farron takes a strike. I guess Farron could only get one of those big hits, but if the next few guys get hits, hello prosperity for St. Francis. Farron pops it up. Shallow center. Backing up is the shortstop Enriquez. He makes the catch. The inning is over. 1 run scores for St. Francis on 1 hit. They leave 1. We'll go to the 9th. Last chance coming up for the Trojans. They trail St. Francis 7-5. Top of the 9th inning, Hunter Morawski on, and this time he is looking for a save. He pitched the last inning in game 1 of a 5-run lead. This is a save chance now, up by just 2 runs, 7-5, and his first pitch to Luis Henriquez misses outside for ball 1. Morawski pitched a scoreless 7th inning in game 1 of the doubleheader. You got Henriquez to fly out to right field to end the game, in fact. And this time he fires a strike. It's 1-1. Kevin Cardis did his job. A solid 8th inning for the freshman. Held them scoreless. Kept the Saints in the lead, and now they've extended the lead with 1 in the bottom of the 8th. Ball inside on Henriquez, 2-1. St. Francis has now scored at least 1 run in 4 consecutive innings. They were up 2-0 at the end of 5. They trailed at one point 5-4, but now they've got a 7-5 lead. They're 3 outs from a win. Trojans trying not to make it easy. Henriquez takes ball 3 inside. There have been 10 walks or hit batters in this game from St. Francis pitchers. Morowski trying to not put his name on that list as well as Henriquez fouls it away. 3-2. I think that's one stat that every pitcher is trying to stay away from at this point. The free base runners. Full count, nobody out, top of the 9th. Line drive into center field. Right there to make the catch is Dolan Nicholson. 1 away. Good start to the 9th inning for Morowski and the Fighting Saints. Pearson and Andujar, the last 2 batters that Morowski will have to get through. Of course, he could let one or even both of them reach base and still come away with the victory, but he's trying to get through this 9th inning perfectly. We have not had a 1-2-3 inning in today's game, not for any pitcher at any time. Ball 1 outside. Mac Malshevsky came close a couple of times. He faced the minimum in both the 2nd and 5th innings thanks to double plays. Malshevsky pitched well through 5 innings, kind of self-destructed in the 6th. He will not factor in today's decision. Ball 2 on Pearson. Right now, Evan Doan, despite struggling through his inning and a third, is in line to be victorious. 2-0. Ball 3. 3-0 on Pearson. Matt Pearson started at first base, playing third the last few innings. 0 for 1 in the game, but he's reached base 3 times. Can he make it 4? He can indeed. Ball 4 up high. Another walk issued by St. Francis. That's 7 to go along with 4 hit batters. Pearson has been 4 of those. He's walked 3 times and been hit once. He has scored 1 run. The Saints are hoping that he keeps it that way. Here's Emmanuel Andujar. Andujar is 2 for 4, a couple of singles, an RBI. Morowski can get out of the game with a ground ball here. It's hit right at somebody. Ball low, 1-0. He's missed, though, on 5 consecutive pitches since coming in. He's thrown 8 balls, only 3 strikes. One and 0. Next one misses outside. 2-0. 6 consecutive balls thrown by Morowski. Morowski threw only 10 pitches in retiring the side in the 7th inning in Game 1. He's already thrown 12 in this appearance. 1 on, 1 out. 2-run lead in the 9th. Andujar flies it out to center field. Should be out number 2 as Nicholson backs up, moves to his right, and makes the grab. Saints are 1 out away from a doubleheader sweep and a season series sweep against Trinity International. The Saints have won 5 of their last 6 games. 1 more out would give them 6 out of 7 and would keep them in 2nd place in the CCAC standings. Last hope for Trinity is their designated hitter, Blake Lazarus. First pitch to Lazarus, misses down low. Lazarus is 0 for 2 today, but he has walked. He's been hit by a pitch. He has scored a run. Ground ball to third base. Diving stop Tesh, but he can't pull it in. He was able to keep the ball on the infield by knocking it down with his glove, but not able to make a play on it. It's an infield single for Lazarus. And Pearson advances to 2nd base. So now there are 2 on with 2 out. And the batter is Angel Santana. Angel Santana, 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. Tying run is on base. The go-ahead run in the batter's box right now. Santana swings at the first pitch, lifts it out to shallow left. Coming in is Schroeder. He makes the catch, and there's your ball game. The Saints win 7-5. It wasn't easy. It was not pretty, but it's a victory, and it's a doubleheader sweep for the Fighting Saints today. A big win against Trinity International when 2 of their closest competitors in the CCAC both had doubleheader sweeps of their own, St. Xavier and Olivet Nazarene. They're able to keep pace with both of them, stay ahead of Olivet by beating Trinity twice. Game 1, a little bit easier, 6-1 victory in Game 1. Game 2 came down to the wire. They led by 2. They later trailed by 1, but they're able to come from behind in the end and win it 7-5. Let's go back over some of the scoring in this game. Saints took an early lead in the second inning. Josh Tesh singled and scored on a Dolan Nicholson base hit. It was 1-0 all the way into the bottom of the 5th. We had a great pitcher's duel early. In the 5th inning, with 2 outs and nobody on, Travis Schoonover singled. He stole second base. He moved to third on a pass ball. He scored on a wild pitch. Saints led by 2. That lead was short-lived because Trinity took their first lead of the game, 4-2, with a couple of runs, actually with all 4 of their runs coming in the 6th inning. And it came because Mac Malshevsky, who was excellent through 5, got wild in the 6th. He hit one batter, he walked another, and he walked a third. The bases were loaded with 2 outs. He was removed. Evan Doan came in, and Doan was not able to get out of the jam. Angel Santana singled home 1 run, and then Matt Balistreri tripled home 2 more. A 4th run scored on a wild pitch, and that made it a 4-2 lead for Trinity International. But the Saints were not to be outdone. They walked in a few runs as well. Tesh walked, Schroeder walked, Peterson walked. In the bottom of the 6th, the bases were loaded. Dolan Nicholson singled 2 of them in. They tied it up at 4. Then Trinity took their second lead of the game at 5-4. They again got base runners on a walk and a hit batter, and this time it was Emmanuel Andujar, whose RBI base hit gave them the lead. Saints came right back again in the bottom of the 7th. Dustin Krob walked. Josh Tesh reached on an air. Both of them scored on a John Peterson single. That made it 6-5. They went ahead 7-5 in the 8th inning when Adam Sobolka walked and Joe McGuire hit a sacrifice fly. 7-5 was the final score. Our totals today: Trinity International 5 runs, 7 hits, and an error. St. Francis 7 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. The winning pitcher was Evan Doan out of the bullpen, or Kevin Cardis rather. Cardis moves to 1-1. Losing pitcher Ian Ryan falls to 0-3. Hunter Morowski picks up his 6th save. With the victory, with the 2 victories today, St. Francis is now 27-18, 19-7 in conference, and 19-3 in home games. Trinity International, the doubleheader loss, falls to 19-29. They are 10-17 in CCAC play. Next game for St. Francis is at home. It's on Friday. It's an afternoon contest. 3 o'clock start time. This Friday afternoon, a big one against Trinity Christian, who now, after losing a couple of games today, has fallen to 4th place in the conference, but still nipping at the heels of St. Francis. So that's a big 3-game series over the weekend, with 1 game here on Friday, 2 games there on Saturday. We'll have Friday's game for you right here through GoFightingSaints.com. You can find us on the St. Francis YouTube and Facebook pages. That's going to do it for today's game. St. Francis wins 6-1 and 7-5. Thanks for tuning in. Until Friday afternoon, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off for the University of St. Francis. Good night, all.